Welcome to the Explainer. Ever wonder what powers those incredible video games or the stunning special effects in movies? Well, a lot of the time, it's a language called C++. And what makes it so fast? It talks directly to the computer's hardware. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and build your very first program, step by step.
Okay, so you're ready to jump in? Let's get started. You only need two things to get going. Seriously, that's it. You need a text editor. That's where you'll write your code. And something called a compiler, which is what translates it for the computer. I like to think of it like this. Imagine you're writing a recipe. Your text editor? That's just your notepad. The compiler, though, is like a super smart translator that takes your recipe and turns it into a language the oven can understand. It's the bridge between what you write and what the machine actually does.
All right, so how does that translation actually work? Let's take a look at the journey your code takes from your screen to a program that's actually running.
It really boils down to three simple steps. First, you write the code in a file. We call that the source code. It's readable by you and me. Then, the compiler does its thing and translates it. And what comes out the other end is an executable file filled with machine code, basically instructions the computer can run directly. Okay, every single programmer starts their journey right here, with making the computer say, "Hello world." I know it sounds super simple, but trust me, we're going to break down this classic program line by line because it's got all the core pieces we need.
First up, we have this line, #include iOS. What's that about? Well, think of it like telling your program, hey, go grab the toolkit for input and output operations. We need that toolkit so we can do basic stuff, like printing text to the screen.
And then we have int main function. This is absolutely crucial. It's basically the starting point of every single C++ program. When the computer runs your code, the first thing it looks for is this main function. It's the front door, and everything starts happening inside those curly braces.
All right, now for the fun part. This line here, standard cout, it might look a little weird, but it just means standard character output. It's how we tell the computer, hey, display this thing. And see those two arrows? They're literally pushing the text, "I like pizza," onto the screen for us to see.
And you see that little semicolon at the end? Do not forget that guy. It's like the period at the end of a sentence. It tells the compiler, okay, that instruction is done. Super, super important. Then return 0 at the very end. That's just us telling the computer, hey, we finished and everything went okay. It's like giving a thumbs up.
Great, so our program can do something, it can talk, but to be really useful, it needs to be able to remember things. And that's where variables come in. This is a huge concept in programming.
So what is a variable? Honestly, the easiest way to picture it is like a labeled storage box sitting in the computer's memory. You give the box a name, you put some information inside, and then you can come back and get it later. And these boxes come in different shapes and sizes, depending on what you want to store. An int is a box just for whole numbers. For counting things, like your age. A double is for numbers with decimal points, like a price tag. And a std string, well, that's your box for holding text, like somebody's name. It's all about telling the computer what kind of stuff you're storing.
As you get started, let me give you a few pro tips to make your life easier. First, use names for your variables that actually describe what they are. Player score is way better than just X. Second, you can leave little notes for yourself in the code with 2 slashes. We call them comments. And third, say it with me, end every statement with a semicolon.
Okay, let's move on to the final piece of the puzzle. We can make our program talk. We can make it remember things. Now, let's make it think. It's time to do some math. To do math, we use something called arithmetic operators. Sounds complicated, right? It's not. It's just a fancy name for the symbols you've been using your whole life. Plus, minus, times, and divide. So check this out. Let's say we have a variable called students and we set it to 20. Then maybe we get 5 new students. We can just create a new variable, total students, and tell the computer to add students and new students together. And bam! The program does the calculation and that total students variable is now holding the number 25. Simple as that.
So there you have it. You now have all the basic tools you need to write a genuinely useful program. So I've got a challenge for you. Can you take everything we just learned and write a program that creates 2 number variables, adds them up, and then prints out the sum? Go ahead, open up that text editor and give it a try.